When a marriage comes to an end, the first thing that probably comes to mind is a big courtroom drama, right? Two sides just locked in this bitter fight. But what if there was a better way? A path that's really focused on healing and finding some common ground, not just winning an argument. Well, today, that's exactly what we're diving into: conciliation.
And that really is the big question, isn't it? We're so often conditioned to see any legal dispute as a battle that has to be won. But when it comes to family matters, that whole approach often leaves everyone feeling like they've lost something. Conciliation offers a totally different way of thinking, one that's actually built on dialogue and, mutual respect.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle the what and why of conciliation. Then I'll walk you through the whole process, step by step. We'll also look at the huge benefits of taking this route, and, just as important, we'll talk about when it's maybe not the right call. And hey, for all of you students out there, stick around, because we've got a super quick revision section at the end to really lock in these key ideas.
So, let's get right into it. What exactly is conciliation? We need to understand the core concept and find out why it's not just a good idea, but a lot of the time, it's actually a legal requirement.
Think of it like this. A traditional court case is kind of like a boxing match. Each side is just trying to land that knockout punch. Conciliation, though, is completely different. It's more like a guided negotiation. You've got a neutral third party, the conciliator, who isn't a judge but more of a referee, helping both sides find that common ground and craft a solution that works for them. The real power to decide stays with the couple, not a judge.
And this is what it's really all about. The purpose here isn't just about saving a bit of time or money, though that's a plus. It's about reducing the human cost of a separation. We're talking about protecting kids from the emotional crossfire of a messy divorce, trying to preserve family relationships, if at all possible, and just letting everyone move forward with their lives with a lot less damage, both emotionally and financially.
Now, this is crucial. This isn't just a friendly suggestion. It's literally the law. The Hindu Marriage Act makes conciliation a mandatory first step in most of these cases. These sections you see here, they basically give the court a pause button. It's like the law itself is saying, hold on, before we go to battle, let's try talking first. It really shows a deep commitment from the legal system to prioritize finding a resolution over just fighting it out.
Okay, so that's the what and the why. Now, how does this all actually play out in the real world? Let's walk through the conciliation journey step by step, from the minute a petition is filed to that final signed agreement.
All right, let's meet the cast of characters here. Of course, you have the couple, right at the center of everything. But maybe the most crucial person in the room is the conciliator, this neutral, impartial guide whose entire job is to steer the conversation toward a solution. Lawyers can be there too, but more as advisors. And then, at the end of it all, you have the family court, acting as the final gatekeeper to make sure any deal that's made is fair and legally solid.
So the process itself follows a pretty clear, structured path. It all kicks off with a court order that gets the wheels in motion. From there, the conciliator will usually meet with each person one-on-one. This creates a really safe space for them to share their side of the story. Then comes the really important part, the joint negotiation sessions, where the conciliator helps guide the couple toward a solution they can both live with. If they get there, a formal settlement gets drawn up and signed. But it's not over yet. That agreement goes back to the court for a final look-over, just to make sure it's fair to everyone, especially if there are kids involved. And once the court gives its stamp of approval, that agreement becomes a legally binding, fully enforceable order.
Now, for the million-dollar question, why would you choose conciliation over a traditional, drawn-out court battle? Well, the answer is a really powerful mix of practical benefits that can save you a ton of time, a lot of money, and a whole world of stress.
I mean, just look at this comparison. The difference is night and day. We're talking about something that could take 3 to 6 months versus 3 to 5 years. But for me, the real game changer here is control. With conciliation, you are in the driver's seat. You get to craft a solution that actually works for your life, instead of just having one forced on you by a judge who doesn't know you.
And the good news doesn't stop with a couple. Think about the positive ripple effect this has on their children, who get shielded from the emotional roller coaster of a long court fight. And let's not forget about the bigger picture. When we resolve these disputes outside of the courtroom, we help ease the massive strain on our justice system. That makes it more efficient for everybody.
Now, you might be thinking this is just for the simple, straightforward cases, right? Well, think again. Conciliation is an incredibly powerful tool that can be used to tackle even the most complex and emotionally heavy issues. Everything from dividing up property and assets to creating incredibly detailed parenting plans. The real beauty of conciliation is its flexibility.
A couple could agree to a really unique co-parenting schedule that works for their specific family, something a judge might never even consider ordering.
But, and this is really important, conciliation isn't some kind of magic wand. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. There are definitely situations where it's simply not the right choice.
These are the absolute non-negotiables. When we're talking about any allegations of domestic violence, abuse, or cruelty, safety is the #1 priority. Full stop. In those cases, you need the formal protections that only the court system can provide. Same goes for situations where there's untreated addiction, or if one person is clearly just participating to drag things out or act in bad faith. Conciliation has to happen on a level playing field, and when that's just not possible, it's time to let the formal legal system take the lead.
All right, it's time to pull it all together. Whether you're studying for an exam or you just want the highlights one more time, this is your crash course. Let's do a quick-fire recap.
So, what are the absolute essentials to remember? First, what is it? It's all about collaboration, a guided negotiation, not a legal fight. Why do it? To reach an amicable settlement. What's the law? It's mandated by the Hindu Marriage Act. The process? The court directs it. You have meetings, negotiation, and then a settlement. The benefits are huge. It's fast, it's private, it's cheaper, and you're in control. The outcome? A legally binding court order. And when does it fail? When safety is at risk or someone's not acting in good faith. Got it?
And that brings us to one final and maybe even bigger question. We've seen just how powerful conciliation can be for family law. But what if we took that same idea and applied it to all civil disputes? I mean, just imagine a world where collaboration, not confrontation, was the default setting for how we resolve conflict. Could that be the key to a more just and frankly a more humane legal system? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us.